2023 Dodge Challenger Hellcat Jailbreak. Heads up guys, I have been babying this car because I really want to give you all my first reaction to this thing. Ever since I started this channel 2 years ago, this is one I have wanted to get my hands on for so long. I just have not found the opportunity, but today we finally have this car. Guys, like I said, I haven't really gotten on it too hard yet, but for the short time that I had it driving it right here, my opinion on this car has shifted completely. As a heads up, I used to not really be a fan. I never saw myself like ever even considering owning this car. And now, without even having fully experienced it, I am loving this thing so far. So once I floor it and get on the brakes and we like corner it and all that, we'll see what the thoughts are. But before we go for a drive, we got to take a look at this spec, guys, because when I first laid my eyes on this spec, I thought this was one of the most beautiful Hellcats I've ever seen in my life. Because this is a jailbreak, what's cool about the name Jailbreak is the fact that it's like you know, you could jailbreak your phone and it gives you features you didn't have before. Same thing with this. The jailbreak on the Challenger actually allows you to customize things you otherwise wouldn't be able to on a base Hellcat. So beautiful red exterior, beautiful satin black hood. Obviously the SRT badge with the open valve right there. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a Hellcat logo inside of this headlight right here. I do actually like the fact that this yellow guard on the front lip was kept on because it matches the absolutely massive yellow Brembo brakes on this car. Look how big those are, oh my gosh. Obviously the Hellcat badge, this is the wide body, which I think really does make this thing look a whole lot better. Guys, no matter what size tires we're working with here, they could and should be bigger. We'll talk about that more in a second. Obviously big fat back end here, SRT badge in the back, and without further ado, let's hop back. Actually, let's pop the hood real quick. We got to do that. I mean, what is a Hellcat video without looking at, I would say this has one of the most beautiful engines out of literally any other car. Just that huge block right here, SRT, supercharged on both sides with the Hemi. Something about Hellcat engines, guys, I think they just look so good underneath the hood of every single car they're in. And with that said, let's start it back up. Guys, so even on the inside, it's a Dodge, right? It's not a Bentley, it's not a Lamborghini, so you know, it's not all that fancy in here, but you do have a full Alcantara steering wheel, the SRT on the steering wheel right here, which by the way lights up in red at night, which is so cool. A flat bottom steering wheel. Guys, I really like the way that this steering wheel feels. It is, it adds a super nice touch to the Hellcat. And not to mention, I don't know if you can see from this view, but getting used to how massive this car is really does take some time. It was very uncomfortable actually pulling out with this thing when I very first hopped in it to drive here, because it's like I don't know the parameters of the car. I feel like I'm gonna hit something on the side with just how big this is and how huge that front end is. So this car does take some getting used to. Nice manly gear lever right there. Gotta love that. All of your, this is, guys, my favorite part of any Dodge product is this right here. If you just go to the SRT button right there, it'll bring you to this screen right here, and you just have unlimited options to choose from. It's like you're a kid again. Guys, oh my gosh. And if you go into custom mode, this thing is, or actually, I'm sorry. I thought it was adjusted to 500 horsepower, but I guess not. But either way, you can go in here and actually adjust the amount of power that you get. What other car can do that? You choose, you can subtract 217 horsepower or add 217 horsepower at the push of a button. And 217 horsepower is the amount of horsepower that a lot of cars have in total. So, this thing is just absolutely insane. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on the road here. Oh my gosh, there's so many different performance like options in terms of like tracking your car that it is genuinely hard to choose from. There's so many that it actually takes a minute to load. There we go. So like right on the homepage, these are all adjustable widgets here. You can get your live horsepower reading, G-force meter, the current gear that you're in. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, we can. Guys, this is one of the most throttle responsive cars I have ever driven. Like, when you go, I'm used to performance cars at this point, but I am not used to this. When you just go off the line from a stop, if you are not careful with how you press the gas pedal, immediately you will spin. Like, when you're just trying to carefully go off of the line. This is by far the in a good way though, the most like unstable, scary car I have ever driven. I feel like I could crash this easier than any other car that I've driven. And you'll see why once we actually once we floor it here. With that being said, let's jump back over to SRT mode. And let's go into auto mode. If you do go into sport mode, by the way, that does turn traction control off as indicated in the RPM gauge. You don't want that. Trust me, you do not want that. With traction control on, this thing is already way too scary. And if I get comments saying like, oh, like you just don't know how to drive the car, that's why it's scary. That just tells me you have not been behind the wheel of a Hellcat before. This is like my first time actually, driving one and fully experiencing it. And without even going crazy, it was already super scary. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Let's throw it over into manual mode so we can play around with the paddle shifters here. Yeah, even right there, guys, I don't know if you can see that, but the back end, oh, MC20, oh my gosh. The back end just, it flies out so easily. Oh my gosh. Now, while we're sitting right here, this is an important thing to note. You can feel the vibrations from the engine. Like, it doesn't feel, I don't know, again, like stable. Like, it's okay, these are reliable cars, but that's the cool thing about the Challenger Hellcat, is it just maintains that old school muscle, but with modern technology. So it's easy. You could complain about having it feel like, I don't know, it's like shaking a little bit, but there's a 717 horsepower, 6.2 liter supercharged V8 right under your hood. And we got a Mustang GT that might want to play. I mean, this thing would absolutely destroy him. I think he knows that. He definitely does. He definitely does. Guys, even when you're flooring it and you're already up to interstate speeds, I kid you not, this is the first car where I actually get a little bit scared when I floor this thing, already rolling at like 70, 80 miles an hour. So, man. Huh? Dude, this thing is ridiculous. Yours sounds good too. See ya. Like right there, guys. Wait, what even is that? I don't know if I'm spinning, if I'm about to just go off the road, if I'm going straight. It is too much power for this setup. But that's what's so cool about the Hellcat, is the fact that you do that and it's like you can't really get used to this because it is too much for the car to handle. It is borderline scary at all times. In other cars, like a well-engineered Lamborghini Huracan, you know, I drive that thing, I floor it, and it's like, oh, like yay, like I know it's gonna hook every time. Like eventually you just kind of get used to that power. But this thing, it is scary at all times. Like I would not want to floor it here because there's a slight left turn. In order to feel comfortable, I feel like I need to be in a straight line with this car. Now let's downshift a few times. You will note there's absolutely some lag there. The sound of this thing is also absolutely ridiculous, guys. This is also the only car where I feel like the sound from the engine bay is fighting to overtake the sound coming out of the exhaust. Hearing both sides of the sound it's one of the most unique experiences I think I've ever had in terms of driving to a car and listening to the sounds that it makes. And that's where I was coming from at the start of this video when I said I never saw myself wanting to own a Hellcat, but the fact that this car has so many things that no other car has makes it actually really attractive to buy. Especially given, guys, if you do get like a 2015, 2016 Hellcat, be careful. These are the most abused cars in the entire car industry. But you can get a 2015, 2016 used narrow body Hellcat for like $45,000. What a bargain. And again, these are reliable. It's an easy test to find out if a car is reliable by just looking at, can you find very many high mileage examples of the car you're looking at? In the Hellcat world, you can. Lots of Hellcats with very, very high mileage on them, indicating these are reliable cars. And you can read owner reports too, obviously. But aside from this feeling like the scariest car I have ever driven in my life, I really do mean this. Name another car where you can go in and you can adjust your launch control RPMs up and down like you can in this. Name another car where you can adjust every single metric and see the live reading horsepower, live reading torque, a dyno page on this thing, which, and there's a cop behind me. That is not good. That is not good. That is not good. That is not good. Oh my gosh, okay, he's moving over. All right, that was very, very scary. I know cops, if you're in this thing, you're probably going to be targeted. Anyway, okay. Name another car, seriously, where you're able to adjust or see all these different metrics, where you're able to change the horsepower by a difference of 200. Name another car where you get the supercharger sound like this does. There isn't one. There isn't one. And I'm like, I really, really do enjoy these things. I love, that was an M3 competition. I love being able to change things about the car, to see different things in the infotainment screen, to adjust all the different settings. And where, yeah, there's nowhere else where you can get that. Insane, insane. Oh my gosh. On the other side, yes, it is nice being able to hook. If you race someone from a dig in this car, you're not gonna have a good time. You're going to spin. You have to really learn exactly how to launch this car. But again, even with the setup you have in this thing, it's like, I mean, how much power can you really use off the line without spinning? It's definitely not going to be all 717. The Scat Pack launched almost perfectly when I drove that, and so I would expect if you can throttle about 500 horsepower, or just put it in 500 horsepower mode and then switch it to 717 as you're racing. Once you get up to higher speeds, that's probably your best bet for getting the best launch in the Hellcat. All right, now I do gotta whip a U-turn, so I'm not expecting great turning radius here. Yeah, that is very close. That's not cool. Now, let's pause on the performance discussion for a second. I do want to cover just how this car feels in general. Suspension-wise, it does feel sporty. You do feel just about every single thing in the road. Like, it's certainly not a comfort car, despite this thing weighing 4,400 pounds. It's not comfortable per se. It's dailyable for sure. Miles per gallon would say otherwise, but I mean, it's comfortable enough to daily. But it absolutely has a sporty suspension. Steering, I very much so underestimated how the steering would feel in the Hellcat. It is sharp, it is sporty. Again, also holding on to the Alcantara on the steering wheel with the flat bottom. Nice paddle shifters here as well. I really like the feeling of this. Its steering feels actually sharper than a lot of other cars I would have expected to be significantly better feeling than the Hellcat. So steering is nice, suspension is sporty, not comfortable as you would expect. Braking, it feels phenomenal. I feel very confident in bringing this car to a stop if I need to. Look at that. In no way whatsoever did I mean to spin the tires there, at all. Guys, this thing is just absurd. I think for 50 grand, this is actually a steal. Honestly, a steal. This is the 2023 Hellcat Jailbreak with low mileage, like very pristine, also a gorgeous spec, and so this one is going to be in like 75-80 range, but you can get a nice used Hellcat for around $50,000, which is ridiculous to me. I can see why this has such a big fan base. I'll cover more of all of the features this has in future videos, but the purpose of this video was really just to give you guys my first driving impressions of this thing, and this is the most rowdy car. This is the scariest car I've ever driven by far, and there's certain areas where this thing absolutely did exceed my expectations. Confidence in braking, the sharp steering that this car has. I don't know, it feels great. It really does. And also, guys, I should mention this. You have all of the necessary comforts in here as well. Heated seats, cooled seats, heated steering wheel, same thing for the passenger. I mean, you don't need like these like $10,000 seats, right? They're nice leather seats with SRT stitched right in there. That looks great. So I mean, getting more than what this has is kind of just unnecessary. The only reason I would get this car, or you should get this car, is if you're someone that likes just scary rowdiness and you can control yourself. With that being said, I will make many more videos on this car to cover more features and get more in depth with this thing, but hopefully this was a good intro on my first thoughts with this. Appreciate y'all for watching. I'll see you very soon in the next video. Peace out.